Want to trade with Rithika? Join Chase at www.laductrading.com/chase.
Hope you've been well. Sorry I've been off for the month of August, so it's been a while since I've updated these videos, but as you can see, not much has changed. We pretty much were on top of this previous level of resistance August, and we have continued to the upside, which was the original forecast. So now I don't think this wave is per se done. I would say that we could still continue higher into that 655, 657 area before I think we pause in the market. So we could have a little bit of digestion. Once we hit that 658, 660 area, we could see a little bit more digestion. So I do think that we are continuing to move higher as per the forecast. I don't really see much changes to that. And again, I do think that we are still bigger picture, still in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I still see, even though I have a little bit of downside once we push into this FIB target, I still see more upside. And QQQ, you can see we have broken the previous high and have continued sideways. Kind of the same thing I see right now. I continue seeing further upside. Maybe we push into the upside of this channel around 600, 610 before we come down for digestion, before we continue moving higher. So again, bigger picture, not much has changed. I still see us continuing to move higher into the end of year with a little bit of digestive periods, which will get bought up and we will continue higher. So we haven't really changed much on that. And IWM, you can see here we are continuing along this green path that we had. So this red path and this orange path were ruled invalid. So again, this is our C wave. We are obviously continuing higher. So I do think we can continue pushing up into that 240 resistance. Then we will digest a little bit before we continue higher on IWM. So again, not much has changed. We are pushing into the previous high here on IWM at 243. And we look at Dow, again, kind of the same thing. We are continuing to push higher. We have pushed back into this channel. So any and all digestion, I'm still expecting more upside to continue have a bit of digestion before we continue pushing along this path. So yeah, that's all I have for the market, and dollar hasn't really moved. It's at the bottom of this channel when we saw this last, and we have just kind of gone sideways for about, I would say, 2 months, third month of sideways. So this is super important, this resistance level. So if it gets over that 100, then dollar will have a spike into that 102, 103 pretty easily. However, we continue to reject and you break below the support at 97, then we have kind of that air gap into that $92 level. So yeah, ideally you can see here we've not broken this channel since 2008. So any break I do think will likely hold. But yeah, keep an eye. If we do get below that 96 level, then it's pretty dangerous and we could free fall into that 92. But right now, kind of sideways, pretty typical for price action that's done this. All right, with that being said, let's look at the C's watch list. And you can see here, Tesla, we've been sideways since May. And you can see we've just digested. And we are struggling to get over 350. So now we've gotten compact. We are squeezing. So this week, ideally, if we can stay and hold over this 330 and close above this 350, then I think continuing into next week, Tesla will continue to explode. Obviously, we must hold over this 320 level for this to happen. You can see here right now, we are trying to bounce off the bottom of this channel. We have gone sideways. So ideally, if you want a safer trigger over 350, we will squeeze into 430, 450, and we must hold over this 370 and 320 area. Again, we do have a lower support level at 300. Like you can see here, this is the current range. 350 to 300 is our current channel range on Tesla. So again, if you want to short, you would need to break 300 and then you would have a nice short into 230. So above 350 for a much explosive move and below 300 for a much explosive downside. But yeah, on the short term over 332, you can see a bounce into 350. So yeah, Tesla, I'm still looking for that move. It's not made it yet. It's still kind of been sideways. You can see here we have just kind of been stuck sideways on Tesla. So that's what I have on Tesla. The next one that I have MA. And again, I'm not super bearish on this. I just think we are at top of the channel resistance. And you can see here, this was my wave 1, which ended in 2023. And my wave 2, we went sideways for about 4 months. And then we kind of have been kind of consistent wave 3 to the upside. So I'm not bearish, super bearish, but I could see a little bit of selling. So I would use this trend line and this support level of previous resistance. So you can see here, this level here here at 588 is important. So if the market is weak, you can see here we are exactly at the 1.618 fibs. So if this is an ABC, it's going to come down for another ABC, then we break this 588, 585, then we will easily come down into this 560, 554 area. So this would make a nice short. Keep an eye on that. But again, as long as we hold this trend line, we could push into 600, 610 before it comes down. So yeah, watch out for the levels. If they hold, then you can make the trade. And again, AMD, from the last time we spoke, we finished our wave 3. We were just sideways for wave 4. Now again, any sell-off 116 to 150 is actually a good buy zone because this is ideally just a wave 4 on AMD. And we will again, you can see here this previous level of resistance. That's why we're digesting. So I'm still expecting the sell-off to hold up and continue pushing higher into that wave 5 on AMD. So not much has changed on our analysis on AMD, and that's all I have for this week. I hope you have a great day.
Join Chase to trade with Rithika and other experts. Subscribe to LaDuc Trading YouTube channel for more Wolf's weekly wave list videos and other content.